What's up, everybody? It's me, Crosspatch. Welcome back to my Madden 21 Chicago Bears franchise. This video is going to be a short recap of the 2020 regular season. We're going to take a look at player stats, some player progression, awards, the upcoming playoff picture, and talk a little bit about the future of this franchise going forward. So, 2020 was a successful season by any standards. We finished 15-1. One defeat to the Minnesota Vikings in overtime. That one was kind of tough to take, but can't be too unhappy with 15-1. We did end up with the number one seed in the NFC, and I simmed past the wild card round here, so you can see we're going to face Tampa Bay in the divisional round. Tom Brady and the Bucs, that'll be fun. And then it'll be either San Francisco or Seattle if we get past them. And on the AFC side, you can see Cleveland or Houston or Los Angeles or Kansas City. If we make it to the Super Bowl, we'll be seeing one of them. So 15-1 ties the 85 Bears record. One of the greatest NFL teams of all time, certainly one of the greatest defensive teams. 85, that team was the last time the Bears won a Super Bowl. They appeared in the Super Bowl after the 2006 season, but lost to Peyton Manning and the Colts. So hopefully we can bring another Lombardi Trophy back to Chicago. That would be good. That's our goal. And let's see if we can make it happen. Be tough to get by Brady, but I think we can do it. And we had some players with some pretty good performances this season. Take a quick look at them. Nick Foles, we named our starter in the opening day. Trubisky, a little bit better athlete, a little bit stronger arm, but Foles just a better quarterback all around, I thought. And remember, this franchise started a while back. There's been some roster updates since then for Trubisky, but I think it was a good decision. 4,000 yards passing, 38 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. A little high on the interceptions, but a pretty good season by Foles. And, if we had to rely on Trubisky at some point, I'd feel comfortable with it. But I just think Foles is a little bit better, and he's performed very well throughout the season. David Montgomery, over 1,000 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns. Intended in the beginning of the season as split carries between him and Patterson, but he just kind of emerged as a better back, in my opinion. We found some other things for Patterson to do, but Montgomery was our primary ball carrier, and he had a good season. Cohen kind of didn't get him involved until a little later in the season. A little bit regretful about that, but I think he can contribute. He ran a lot of reverses and things like that, so kind of wish we had him involved a little more earlier in the season, but whatever. It is what it is. Allen Robinson had a crazy season. 136 catches, 29 touchdown passes. It's a little bit indicative of the offense I run. This is the Steelers' offense I use with the Bears. And until a viable number two emerges, this number one is going to catch a whole lot of passes. But I think that Mooney is going to be that guy, that number two. He was hurt a little bit in the season, missed a few games, but caught 50 balls and 5 touchdown receptions anyway. So I think he's going to come along as a pretty good number two alongside Robinson, and get him developed a little bit next season. Hopefully get him up to a superstar level. And Jimmy Graham, he played all right. He's a little slow. Reliable, tall. He does an all right job. Kmet is our other tight end. He may be the starter next season ahead of Graham. He's just a little more athletic than Graham is, but they both played well. Caught over 75 passes between them, so they certainly did their job. And who will emerge as a number three here? I don't know, but I think our receiving core is pretty solid going into the playoffs. We did use Patterson in the slot a lot the second half of the season, so he caught a bunch of balls. And, yeah, pretty happy with these guys going into the playoffs. On defense, Roquan Smith led the team in tackles with 112. He had 14 and a half sacks. Actually outpaced Mack. Mack only had 13. And Hicks with 5. Quinn with 4.5. Nichols with 4. So we got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Kind of the name of our game, the defense we play, is constant pressure. I do the same thing with my Steelers franchise. It's kind of how you handle these all Madden quarterbacks. Just keep coming at them. Gibson led the team in interceptions with 4. Fuller with 3. Eddie Jackson with 2. Jalen Johnson, only 1 interception, the rookie. But he's coming along. I think he's going to be a good one. A little bit slower than I'd like. But I think he's, in real life, he's playing really well. I think he's going to be a good one in this franchise. Pinheiro missed 2 field goals. How many extra points? I only missed 3 extra points with him, so that's good. And Pat O'Donnell punted 9 times all season. So he had a nice restful season. That's good for him. And we'll take a look at the awards here, which are always a little weird. Josh Allen was the MVP. And we had no mentions of anybody in there. But Nagy took Coach of the Year with 15-1 record. You would think so. In the NFC, Aaron Rodgers, Offensive Player of the Year. Nobody mentioned. Oh no, we had Nick Foles. There he is. Nick Foles is all the way down at number 7. Defensive Player of the Year, Roquan Smith. And Mack did not get mentioned. Nobody mentioned for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody mentioned for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Best Quarterback, Nick Foles. Now, somehow Nick Foles edges out Rodgers for Best Quarterback. Yet, Rodgers wins Offensive Player of the Year. So, whatever. But we're happy that he got that. 15-1. Pretty darn good record for a starting quarterback. And, the 4,000 yards and the touchdown passes. Montgomery, 7th on the list here. Best running back. Allen Robinson, of course, with those catches and those touchdown receptions. Best wide receiver. We had Whitehair, I think, mentioned here. There he is. Cody Whitehair, number 9. Best offensive lineman in the AFC. And nobody on the defensive line. Best linebacker, we had both Smith and Mack. Smith, number 1. Mack all the way down at number 5 here. And best defensive back, we had Gibson, mentioned at number 6. You know what? I should be ashamed of myself. I forgot the kickers. How can I not mention the kickers? Eddie Pinheiro. There he is. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess he was the best kicker. Who's to say? So we'll take a quick look at our roster here and where some of our players stand going into next season. And maybe now is the time to talk about if there will be a next season. I'd like to hear, anybody who's been following this along, I really appreciate it. Would you like to see another Bears season? My Steelers franchise is really my main focus. I do 3 games a week with them. I kind of fit these Bears in when I can. But if people are interested in the Bears, I'll keep it going. I have fun doing it. But, it's kind of distracting maybe from what other things I'm doing. But, something for me to think about, and if I get any feedback, I would certainly appreciate it. If you have any opinions, if you want to see any more these Bears games in another season, and keep it going. Yeah. Either way is fine with me, but if you have an opinion, let me know. But anyway, here's Nick Foles. Uh, if there is a next season, he's probably going to be the guy. Uh, we may try to draft, but honestly, with the way he played this season, he's got a few more years left on his contract. I'd rather draft for other positions than to worry about replacing him at this point. Um, he's 31. He may regress. I don't know. It's a tough one. Trubisky is definitely going to be going on his way. I'm not going to resign him. So I probably will take a quarterback in the draft. I got to think about whether or not I want to take him high or whether I'll draft for like offensive line, something like that with the higher rounds and take a quarterback later. Something to think about. If he doesn't regress a lot, I'd be happy to have him back the way he was this season. But 31, he may be taking some regression hits. I don't know. David Montgomery, 23 years old. He's the guy for the foreseeable future. He had a little bit of he's up to star. He had a little bit of progression this season, up to 91 break tackle with the morale. He's at an 81 overall without the morale. So he's going to be our starting halfback next season. Patterson will be going on his way. Cohen will be that third down back, that role again. And we don't have an actual fullback on this team. So we'll probably be drafting a tight end or a fullback to play that role. I tend to carry 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends and a fullback. So we'll be needing to find somebody to play that role. I re-signed Robinson. He too is getting up there a little bit in age. I think he's still got a little ways to go before he has any concerning regression. Had an X Factor breakout scenario this season, which we took advantage of. So he is at that now. He's 95 overall with the morale boost. And, I wish he was a little faster. I don't know if there's any hope of him getting a point or two with the speed upgrades at this point in his career. But otherwise, he's a darn good receiver. We signed him to... I forget what contract we signed him to. It was 3 or 4 years, something like that. All right, so we got him for 4 years, 4-year contract after this. So we'll be keeping him around for a while. And I think Mooney is going to emerge, like I said, as the number 2. He had a speed upgrade. He's up to 94 speed, 93 acceleration. He's a 77 overall without the morale. So next season, if there is a next season, I think we're going to have him in that number 2 spot. He's going to be catching a lot of passes in the slot, in the number 2 position, and hopefully get him up to a star, then a superstar, and he's going to be a pretty good receiver in the league, I think. As for the number 3 and number 4, I don't know who's going to emerge here. I have a feeling it's going to be none of these guys. Yeah, I kind of feel like we're going to be drafting for the receiver position. It's going to be Robinson and Mooney, and then 2 guys we find through the draft over the next few seasons. Jimmy Graham has 2 years left on his contract. Loved watching him in his prime. Kind of be happy to see him go in this franchise. I really want to get Komet going in that tight end position. He will likely be the starter next season. He had a hidden dev trait, and we now know he is a star. So he is a little bit slow as well, but he has 21 years of age. He's got some development ahead of him, and I think he is our long-term solution at tight end here. This offensive line needs an overhaul. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like even the guys who are a little bit more highly rated aren't that great. So we will be drafting offensive linemen going forward. Like, there's really not anybody here that I'm totally happy with, honestly. Um, I know Whitehair is pretty decent, but he's getting close to 30. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the offensive line needs the most attention of anything, and I don't see a lot of promise in most of these guys. So we'll see how it goes. Defensively, uh, Hicks is a good one. He played good this season. Played well this season. He's a star. Um, but again, all these guys are kind of getting up there in age. He's 30. Urban, not too concerned about hanging on to him. Goldman is one I'd like to hang on to. He's a star development at this point. 92 strength. Yeah, he's one we want to keep around. And of course, Khalil Mack, again, getting close to 30, but he's a 99 overall. He is without question, even though he didn't lead the team in sacks, he is without question the most intimidating force on our defense. And we're going to keep him around for the long term. And same thing with Roquan Smith. He's the guy that I control. He's my user guy. And we're going to keep him around as long as we can. He's only 23. Feels like he's been around forever. He's only 23 years old. And Danny Trevathan, I'm not sure what his contract looks like, but I'd like to get somebody with a little more speed in that other linebacker position. Same thing with Quinn. He played well. Again, I want that bookend pass rusher on the other side from Mack. So, yeah, he played well. We'll keep him around for a little while. But not quite fast enough, in my opinion, at that other outside linebacker spot. Our cornerback position, actually, I'm pretty happy with. These two guys, Fuller and Johnson. I wish Johnson was a little faster, but he's star development. He's going to only get better. Man coverage is at 79 without the morale. Zone is at 80 without the morale. So he's going to be a good one. We're going to hang on to him. Same with Fuller, although he is getting a little bit older. We'll be drafting for corner as well. We want to get some more speed in our secondary. Eddie Jackson, 88 speed. He's pretty good. We'll keep him around as best we can. But Gibson played well. He's 30 years old. Only 84 speed. We're going to be drafting for safety as well. And kicker, I don't know. I think his contract's up. We're not going to re-sign him. And as I always say, I don't care who the punter is. Our punter comes out like once every 2 games, so it doesn't really matter who our punter is. So that's about it. We're getting ready to go into the playoffs. We had a good season. Got a chance to see who is going to be sticking around on this team and who we'll be saying goodbye to. But first things first, we got to get through the playoffs. We got to get past these Bucs and Tom Brady. And again, I'm not sure about the future of this franchise. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it going or not. I'll make that decision after the Super Bowl. But if you have any opinions on it, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I hope you've been enjoying this. Like I said, my Steelers franchise is my main thing. That's where I put most of my mental energy into. But these Bears have been fun as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please go ahead and hit the like button. Maybe subscribe to this channel. Whatever you decide to do, I hope you have a great day. And I will see you in the Divisional playoff.